Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and bishops of Great Millstone, who to rule and teach well. Peace, blessings, salutations to the hopefully elect, tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, diligently laboring in all righteousness and sincerity in His truth. It's the brother Azariah back with another lesson through the Spirit, touching on the escalations that we see continue with World War III, which we already are in, by the way. So as you see here, France declares war on Russia. Zelensky, quote, has permission to bomb the hell out of Moscow. And you see that the beast, these Western Edomites, they're moving very reckless right now, almost as if they're not thinking. And see, the reason why they're moving this way is ultimately because the Lord wants His will done, and He's stripping wisdom away from these Edomites. Because see, when you deal with rulership, when you deal with having a kingdom, you have to have a certain level of wisdom to be able to rule proficiently. And at one point in time, Esau, Edom did possess that prudence to rule with complete authority. His government was well ran. For the most part, these Edomites, they all agreed, they were on one accord. Now you see all sorts of division amongst their ranks. They can't agree, and their governments are in disarray. Esau is on the way out. So, being that the devil knows he has a short time, he's looking to go out with a bang. And before President Trump is inaugurated on January the 20th, these devils, they're trying to incite a nuclear war. Now, of course, we know that the nuclear war is not going to go full scale until the MOTB is rolled out, which that's right around the corner, come 2025. Everything is already set up for that to come forth. But we see that there's an accelerated push right now for these devils to take things to the point where ultimately a draft is going to come into the picture. Europe, certain European nations, they're already warning their citizens to prepare for war against Russia. You also have rumors coming out from multiple sources that NATO is going to stage a false flag Black Swan event somewhere in Europe, more than likely a dirty bomb that they're going to set off and blame it on Russia so that they can justify themselves going in and launching ICBMs on Russia to attack. And in that case, there is no going back from that, all right? That's the point of no return right there. So reading on, France has declared war on Russia, with French Foreign Minister Jean-Noel Barrot warning that France is committed to ignoring any, quote, red lines set by Moscow in order to help Ukraine win. In a new interview with the BBC, Barrot claimed that no Western country, France included, should impose any red lines of their own in supporting Ukraine. Whatever Zelensky wants, he should get, Barrett announced. So this is also the division that you see within NATO. You have some NATO members that are with this Ukraine war, and you have others that already recognize that Ukraine is a lost cause. Ukraine really has nothing left to fight with or for. But you have certain NATO members that are supporting this war effort, okay, which this is a dead war. There's nothing that NATO or the West has to gain from Ukraine at this point. Russia, they pretty much have Ukraine under control. Now, rumors also coming out that Russia, they're looking to stage a air offensive on Kyiv in the next coming days. We'll see what happens with that. But the bottom line is this war is a facade, all right? Now, we know that they want Ukraine for the resources. They want it because it's a very rich, fertile land. There's many trillions of dollars of resources there that the West can utilize, right, for their NWO enterprise. But Russia is standing in the way of that. This is why they want to get Russia out of the way, because ultimately Russia and their allies, they're not about to play ball with the West. They're not about to play ball with Amalek. So anyone that doesn't want to play ball with Amalek, you already know. Those economic hitmen get sent out. They're going to do what they have to do to justify themselves destroying their enemies. And if that takes destroying thousands of people with a dirty bomb in a NATO nation, then so be it. All right, they view that as collateral damage. So you have this rhetoric coming out of France that they should not impose a red line on Zelensky. He should just pretty much get whatever he wants. If Zelensky wants, $2 billion to continue to fund this war, if he wants troops, if he wants artillery, if he wants a brand new house, he should get what he wants, if that means that Ukraine can stay in this war. If Ukraine wants to use French long-range missiles to target Russian territory, Barat believes that it should do so in, quote, self-defense. Barat did not clarify whether or not French weapons have already been used in Ukraine's war on Russia. The principle has been set, Barat said. Our messages to President Zelensky have been well received. Now, you would think that to this point, right, Esau, he would stop the wars. Okay, after all, this is what Trump has been saying that he wants to do, is to end these wars, right? But ultimately, as it says in Proverbs 21, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So these leaders are not in control. It's Yahweh Bashem Yahushai that is in control. He's the one that controls the hearts of these kings. Remember back during that time of the Exodus, when the Lord sent Moses forth to Pharaoh and told him to free my people or else. And the Lord was the one that hardened Pharaoh's heart, all right, so that his power could be demonstrated throughout that land. And so his name could be proclaimed among the heathen. All right, so it's the same thing going on now, because a rationally thinking person, especially if you're a leader over a nation, you would think that you would do what's best for your nation and best for your people. But these Edomites, these Western leaders, that's not what they're doing. All right, they're going down the path of destruction, full steam ahead, no brakes. All right, but nothing else would make sense as to why they're moving this way other than the Lord is the one that has it on their spirit to be doing what they're doing, ultimately so that prophecy can be fulfilled. All right. In verse 2, every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord pondereth the hearts. All right. So every morning a man wakes up and the Lord seals his instructions for the day. All right. There is no free will. You don't just get up and do what you want to do or think that you can manifest your own destiny. No. Everyone that's on this earth at this current time, whether you be righteous or whether you be wicked, you are set up in your particular lot to fulfill biblical prophecy. All right, that's pretty much it. All right, you're a pawn in the Most High's movie, if you will. All right, this is why the elite bankers, they didn't have a choice that they were going to be born Edomites, that they were going to be born elite bankers. No. That's the lot that the Lord wanted them to fulfill in these last days. So they were born into that lot. They grew up in that, and they're in the position that the Lord wants them to be in at this time. And ultimately, they're all going to be destroyed. You see? So the Lord got this thing, mapped out to the T, man. And we're watching the destruction of these heathen nations go down in real time. They're all about to destroy each other. Jeremiah 49:7, concerning Edom, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai of hosts, his wisdom no more in Teman, his counsel perished from the prudent, is their wisdom vanished. Yeah, looking at the way these Edomites are moving, again, they're moving reckless, right? They're They're moving as if they have nothing to lose. All right, they're willing to go all out in a blaze just to take Ukraine. All right, just to continue this Ukrainian offensive. Okay, which is really getting nowhere. And reports have been coming out that this whole thing is about Black Rock because Ukraine has been severely now depopulated. So now Black Rock is going up in Ukraine and they're buying up all the farmland. Okay, they're buying up all the farmland in Ukraine, and they're pretty much going to set up a digital technocracy in Ukraine. Pretty much ground zero for the NWO. And whoever's left out there in Ukraine, that's going to be a testing ground for what they're going to do to America, Australia, and the rest of the world. All right, so there's a bigger agenda going on here in Ukraine that many people are not aware of. But when you get into the real thick of the situation, this is all to forward the NWO. This is all to forward Baal on the planet Earth. All right, but on top of that, these heathens are moving as if there's no tomorrow. And ultimately, it's because they know they have a short time. All right, they're not moving in wisdom anymore. They're not moving in a calculated way, as if to say, we want to preserve ourselves. We want to preserve our kingdom. No, the Most High got them in the spirit to go out like a pit bull. You know what I'm saying? It's going up in a dog fight, man. They're gonna give it everything they got and hope that they can come out on top somehow. But they not sure. You see? Yeah, man. The Most High, verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled in his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Yeah, so at the end of the day, these Edomites, they're being set up for a spoil. Okay, they're being set up to be conquered, destroyed, be put in slavery. All right, that's the ultimate fate that these Edomites are going to meet. So these wars that the Most High has them in the spirit to kick off, it's all for their own destruction. But they're deceived in thinking that they're going to come out on top. They're deceived in thinking that at the end of all these conflicts that they can start all these wars. By the way, this is the same way that the ancient Western Roman Empire went out. They were involved in so many wars around the earth. Their military was spread thin, and the homeland was wide open. You see? So the Lord is gonna, bring back, what was then now. All right, the same way that ancient Rome went out, it's gonna go out the same way today. Macron says France is ready to fire missiles on Russia. To be sure that the world got the message, French President Emmanuel Macron affirmed what Barat said, adding that France is ready to start firing missiles at Russia, regardless of what Putin says or thinks about it. There should be no limitations whatsoever on Kyiv's ability to target Russian territory as it sees fit. Barat and Macron both believe, quote, we will support Ukraine as intensely as and as long as necessary. Why? Because it is our security that is at stake. So this is in the name of peace and safety, We must continue this Ukraine war so that Europe can be at peace and safe. Complete madness, all right? Each time the Russian army progresses by 1 square kilometer, the threat gets 1 square kilometer closer to Europe. But when you look at the situation, was Russia the one that incited this war, or was it NATO? Was it Europe? Obviously, it was NATO, all right? Russia didn't break any treaties. Russia didn't break any pacts that they made with the West. It was America that made the move to go up in Ukraine and start that conflict with Russia. You see? Wasn't it Ukraine that fired? That was the first one to fire missiles into Russian territory before Russia struck back with that ICBM. So the West has been the aggressor in this whole conflict. Russia, they've been wanting peace. They've been offered a plethora of peace deals, and they've shot them all down. All right. So this right here, this is complete madness. These Edomites, they're begging to be destroyed. Let's see here. It says, yeah, we will support Ukraine as intensely and as long as necessary. Macron admitted about the fact that Ukraine is just a proxy state of NATO in the West. Yeah, that's facts. We've been knowing that for really since the beginning. Okay, because once again, America made that call for NATO to go up in there. So this is nothing but a proxy. And now they have to admit it because it's pretty obvious now. This Russia-Ukraine thing is nothing but a proxy war between Russia and NATO. Each time the Russian army progresses by 1 square kilometer, the threat gets 1 square kilometer closer to Europe. In order to keep Russia at bay, Barat believes that even more money should be thrown at increasing defense spending. So these Edomites, they're gonna go so hardcore on this war front that they're willing to bankrupt their nations. They're willing to tank their economies just to get Ukraine. Which again, Ukraine is a very strategic land. Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. All right, there's a lot of resources over there that they can use, and also they were conducting building projects of nuclear silos in Ukraine, with which the plan was to strike Russia. All right, and of course this is why Russia had to invade. They had no choice. Just like now, NATO is pushing Russia's buttons so much so to the point where they have no choice but to respond. All right. It says, all Western nations, he says, should extort even more money out of taxpayers to keep the proxy war going and thus keep the deep state in power. See that? So now they're talking about the deep state. All right, so listen, man, everything that the prophets have been saying, these things are now coming to light. Okay? They're openly now discussing the deep state. They're openly admitting that Ukraine is a proxy war. All right? Next thing they're going to do is openly proclaim, well, you can't even say that because they've already done that. I was going to say that they are going to openly proclaim that they worship Satan, but they've already done it. All right, so truly, the man of sin is being exposed. These devils are being exposed on a mass scale in the earth, and it's been a long time coming. Right, this is even more of a sign of how close we are to the end of Esau's world. Of course, we will have to spend more time. We will have to spend more, Salakia, if we want to do more. Marat said, matter of factly, we have to face these new challenges. All right, so you can read the rest of that on your own. I think the point has been made, but it ain't looking good, because these devils, they have a depopulation agenda at play here. War is a money, war is a money laundering operation for these devils, man. Okay, whenever they want more resources, whenever they want to oppress you more, they just go to war, because in a time of war, they can do things that they otherwise would not normally do in a time of peace. During war, it's okay because it's in the name of peace and safety. All right, we need to defend Europe, defend America. We need to bomb these certain nations because they're a threat to us. All right. But this is only a one-sided narrative. All right. You're not hearing the side of Russia, being spoke on by these devils. All right. It's really only their side that matters. No other nation matters outside of NATO and of the West. Okay. So it's it's really about time that these Edomites be taken out of their rule, man, because under their rule, the earth has been turned into a complete hell. All right, not even their own kind like living under their rulership, man. You see, not even other Edomites want these Edomites to rule no more. And of course, Trump, he's been set up in that position to bring more hell on these people. I just went into it yesterday with these trade tariffs that he's going to impose on China, on Canada, and Mexico. So the price of everything that you consume come 2025 is going to go through the roof. All right. So that's going to be an even further decline of America, man. You see? So, hey, know who you serve, man. Know who you going to call on when, the ish hits the fan. You know what I'm saying? Because that time is right around the corner. Ecclesiasticus chapter 10 and verse 1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. All right, so clearly Esau is not a wise judge, okay? Because he's not instructing his people in righteousness. He's instructing his people in how to be degenerate, wicked demons, okay? And clearly his government is not well ordered because he's not a prudent man, okay? Esau, he doesn't look to the future. He doesn't look to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. He doesn't, institute the laws, statutes, and commandments. Esau, he runs his society off of that satanic do as thou wilt doctrine, which nothing comes of that except more wickedness and evil being perpetrated in this society. All right, which that's what this devil is all about. He's all about confusion. He's all about chaos. And he's all about rebellion against the Most High. All right, so the Most High is stripping this man's wisdom away from him, and he's tanking his kingdom. Verse 2, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. Yeah, so the fact that Esau runs his society off of satanic doctrine, you see that the people have become just like this man. The multitudes of these people, their mindset is completely warped. Their mindset is completely turned over to evil, just like Esau. Verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people. What did Esau say in this article, right? They've declared war on Russia. Zelensky has permission to bomb the hell out of Moscow. They were saying all type of stuff. They were saying, yeah, well, we got to keep this war going to defend Europe. We must win Ukraine. Russia is a terrorist country. All this rhetoric that they've been talking about, man. Okay, but in the process, they're destroying their own people because they're taxing the people more. They're going to have to institute a military draft because they're short in their military. Okay, they're about to give Zelensky nuclear weapons. All right, so listen, man, these devils, they have made the earth a living hell truly. And before they go out of power, they trying to take everybody with them. All right, but the only ones that's going to be saved from what these Edomites got going on are the elect, okay? Which, Lord willing, we be of that number. But yeah, man, it's coming down to the wire. Esau knows what time it is. We know what time it is. Verse 4. Slaki, let me finish this. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. Okay, which one that is profitable are the Israelites, Yahweh Shai, the 144, right? The throne of David being set up over the earth in righteousness, man. You see? That way the earth is going to be better off. Under the rulership of the Israelites, there is going to be no more war in the earth. There is going to be no more confusion. There is going to be no more suffering, you see? Except for the other nations, but the Israelites, we're going to be good. All right, but overall, the other nations, they're going to be better off, being under our rule than under Esau. Really anything is better than Esau, man. Esau is the worst of the worst. He's the basest of men. Okay, this is the lowest man on the planet, and he's been raised up in a position of rulership over the planet Earth. Okay, that right there alone should show you how merciful and just that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is. That he raised up a caveman, cleaned him up, allowed him to put on a suit and tie, allowed him to have the riches over the earth, and to be in a position of rulership. Okay? That's how merciful and fair that the Lord is. You see? Because when it's all said and done, these nations, they're not going to have grounds to say, oh, well, you gave Israel the kingdom for all eternity, but you never gave us nothing. No, the Lord let you heathens have your kingdom first. All right, he let you have your world first. But the world to come is for Jacob. It's not going to be for the heathen. All right, now the heathen are going to be there, but they're going to be in a subservient position to the Israelites. All right, they're going to have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and they're going to be in subjection, okay, as it was in the days of old with the throne of David. All right, so nuclear war is coming. World War III full scale is going to break out, and yeah, gotta get ready. Gotta tap into the Lord. Stay close to Yahweh Bashmel Shah. Continue to pray. Continue to fast. Continue to rehearse the righteous acts because we're right at the door of this thing going down. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close out. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying through the Rakah Kadash, call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. And until next time, Lord willing, Shalom to the elect, Kodesh Allah, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.